What's up, Bankai Vibes crew? Welcome back to the channel.
Hey everyone.
Today we're diving deep, like really deep, 6 eyes deep, into the story of a character who, well, he didn't just play the game in Jujutsu Kaisen.
No, you absolutely changed it. Flipped the whole board.
Exactly. We're talking Gojo Satoru, the rise and, yeah, the eventual fall of the strongest sorcerer.
He was more than just strong, wasn't he? He felt like a force of nature. A whole paradigm shift for the Jujutsu world.
Totally. The moment he showed up, everything tilted. It's this epic tale of, you know, unmatched power hitting reality, I guess.
A very cunning reality, yeah.
Right. He was the top dog, the symbol of strength, smiled in the face of, well, pretty much everything, stood alone holding things together.
Seemingly unbeatable.
But, you know, even the strongest can fall. Okay. Before we get fully into it, if you're ready for this breakdown, do us a solid, smash that like button.
And subscribe for more deep dives right here on Bankai Vibes.
All right, let's get into it. The rise. His
Yeah.
origin story, it wasn't exactly a slow burn, was it?
No, not at all. His birth itself was like world-altering. The 6 eyes popping up again after centuries.
Yeah.
That wasn't just, oh, he's got a cool power. It was more like a sign, you know? A fundamental shift in how cursed energy worked.
It's almost like the universe just went, okay, let's balance things, but balanced it with a character who was ridiculously overpowered.
And then you add the limitless technique on top of the 6 eyes.
Seriously, talk about a broken build. The sources always emphasize how those two things together. I mean, he was basically invulnerable.
And the way he was invulnerable is key. It wasn't just a tough shield. The 6 eyes gave him this incredibly fine control.
Right.
So he could use Limitless to literally manipulate space, decide what could and couldn't even reach him. It's less about tanking hits and more about just reality warping around him.
It's wild to think about. So he steps onto the battlefield and the energy just shifts instantly. People describe his movements as godlike.
He operated on a different plane, really.
And that immediately impacted everyone. He didn't just become the strongest. He redefined what strongest even meant.
Exactly. He raised the ceiling massively. Suddenly, everyone else had to recalibrate what was even possible for a sorcerer, all because of him.
It's like that saying, checkers versus chess. He was playing 4D chess while everyone else was still figuring out the checkerboard.
Good analogy.
Yeah.
And during that early time, the sources are clear. Nobody could touch him.
Toji Fushiguro, the sorcerer killer.
Eventually surpassed, yeah.
Kito, his best friend.
Power-wise, Gojo just pulled away. Even Sukuna wasn't the same level of threat to him back then. That dominance is crucial.
It established a whole new order, didn't it? Just him at the top.
Alone at the apex.
Yeah.
And that shaped everything for years.
Which leads us to that line. You know the one. Throughout heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one.
Yes. Iconic.
And the source material points out, this wasn't him being arrogant necessarily. It was just stated as fact.
And looking at what he could do then, kind of wasn't it? It wasn't wishful thinking. It was his reality. The gap was just that huge.
So he reaches this untouchable status, but like we said, this isn't the forever reign of Gojo, it's the rise and fall. So we know things have to change, and this is where it gets darker. Before we plunge into that darkness though, quick reminder, if you're enjoying this, hit share, let your JJK buddies know about Bankai Vibes.
Please do. Okay, so the fall. What's so interesting is how it happens.
Yeah, it wasn't like someone just finally punched harder, right?
No, exactly. That's critical.
Yeah.
He wasn't overpowered in a straight fight. His defeat, or rather his neutralization, took immense planning, cunning.
It required a very specific approach,
Okay.
targeting something other than his raw strength.
Which brings us to Shibuya.
Oh man, Shibuya. The source is painted as just chaos, blood, betrayal, despair. It wasn't just a fight. It was a meticulously planned disaster aimed squarely at him.
A massive, complex operation. They used specific curses, timing, manipulation, all focused on one goal, take Gojo off the board. Because they knew fighting him head-on was suicide.
It was a trap, pure and simple.
Laid by Kenjaku and Mahito and the others, exploiting everything they could.
And the tool they used, the prison realm.
Yeah, that cursed object. Basically an inescapable box for him.
The fact they needed that, this legendary artifact, and this whole elaborate plan, it just shows how big of a threat he was. They couldn't beat him, so they had to, delete him from the equation.
And it's interesting how the prison realm worked on him, too. It preyed on a moment of hesitation, like a psychological flicker.
Seeing Geto's face, right.
Exactly. It wasn't just about overwhelming power. It exploited a specific emotional vulnerability, however brief. Shows even gods have weak points.
And the second he was sealed, boom, everything falls apart. The sources list the casualties, Nanami.
Such a brutal loss.
Nobara basically crushed. Yuji just spirals.
The whole balance Gojo maintained, even just by existing, it shattered instantly. Villains got bolder. Curses ran rampant.
It was like the light went out. His presence was this massive deterrent, keeping so much darkness at bay.
Remove that linchpin.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Total chaos.
Yeah.
The world really felt his absence. Profoundly.
It shows how much everyone, maybe unknowingly, depended on him. But the story doesn't end there, does it?
Not quite. There's another twist.
The return. If you're hyped for this part, make sure you're subscribed to Bankai Vibes, folks. Don't miss what comes next.
Yeah, his comeback was, well, it was pure Gojo, wasn't it?
Totally. The source describes him as just cool, unbothered, unshaken, still smiling, like he just took a quick break.
As if escaping an impossible dimension was just, Tuesday for him. That confidence.
It says so much about his mindset, and man, the reaction online when that happened.
Oh, the fandom exploded. Pure hype. Hope surged back. Maybe. Just maybe.
Maybe the good guys still had a chance.
And his return immediately set the stage for the fight everyone was waiting for.
The ultimate clash. Gojo Satoru versus Sukuna.
The king of curses. The sources frame it as destiny, right? Two absolute titans of jujutsu finally going head-to-head.
And that fight. Wow. I mean, it was insane. Broke the power scaling, maybe.
It pushed everything to the limit. The source highlights just how much Gojo threw into it. All his cursed energy, his brains, his heart, everything.
He showed off levels we hadn't even seen before. Incredible mastery.
A total testament to his skill and his will to protect everyone. He went beyond his limits, arguably.
But even with all that, the strongest sorcerer giving his absolute all.
Fate, as the source puts it, had other plans.
Yeah, it still leads to his death. It's rough. A reminder that even for him, victory wasn't guaranteed.
But the way he died is significant too. The source mentions him smiling at the end.
Not in fear, right? More like peace.
Yeah, like contentment. Knowing he fought his heart out, held nothing back. Undefeated in spirit, perhaps. It's poignant.
Definitely poignant. A bittersweet end. Which brings us to the last part. His legacy. What did he leave behind? And hey, seriously, if you're still with us, you're awesome. Hit subscribe to Bankai Vibes for more deep anime talks like this.
His legacy is huge, and it's more than just being strong. The source points out he was a symbol. Strength, yeah, but also rebellion, hope.
He definitely wasn't afraid to shake things up, was he? Especially with the Jujutsu elders.
Not at all. He challenged their old ways, their traditions, their stagnation. He represented change.
A progressive force in a very, very traditional world. He questioned everything.
And that defiance, even from his youth, had ripple effects. He forced people to rethink how things were done.
And maybe the biggest part of his legacy, his students, Yuji, Megumi, Nobara.
His role as a teacher, he invested in them, believed they could surpass even him, maybe fix the broken system.
He saw the future in them, didn't he? Knew his power alone wasn't the whole answer.
Exactly. He was nurturing the next generation, entrusting them with carrying things forward.
The source also says he kind of redefined being a sorcerer. It wasn't just about fighting curses.
No, it was about aiming higher, striving for a better world, challenging the very systems that let curses thrive. He gave the role more agency.
And you just have to mention the impact his death had on us, the fans. The community reaction was massive.
Oh, undeniably. Theories, tributes, debates. It showed how much people connected with him. He left a huge void.
But even with him gone, the source ends on this powerful note. Gojo Satoru remains the strongest.
Because true strength isn't just about cursed energy output, right? It's about the impact you leave, the legend you become.
His ideals, that insane confidence, the legend itself, that stuff lives on. It shapes the JJK world still.
It absolutely does, inspiring people even after he's gone.
Rest in power, Gojo Satoru. Truly one of the greats.
Indeed.
And thank you all so much for joining us here on Bankai Vibes for this pretty intense deep dive.
It was great unpacking such an iconic character arc.
For sure. Now, we definitely want to hear your thoughts. Drop into the comments, what's your favorite Gojo moment? What hit you hardest about his story?
Yeah, let's keep this discussion going.
Absolutely. And hey, one last time, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Bankai Vibes. We've got lots more anime content coming your way.
And let us know who or what you want us to cover next. We're always looking for ideas.
Thanks again for tuning in, everyone. We'll catch you in the next Bankai Vibes deep dive. #Bankai Vibes.